Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar, an introduction to Maximo 7.6.1 tips and tricks. We'll begin the webinar in just a moment, so I'll pass you over to Lee Daly, who is our Principal Maximo Consultant at Peacock Engineering, and he's going to be taking over the webinar. Over to you.
Morning everybody. Today we're just going to have a quick session on 7.6.1, some of the bits of upgrades along the start work centres. I'm going to show you some of those as well, and also just a little bit around what's been introduced in 7.6.1. A few of the changes in there. It's not in depth. This is just an overview of what we can, what I can quickly get into this session. If you do have any questions, just ask them in the questions section. We'll try and answer them. If not, you can send us an email with some questions or any questions that you have. Okay, so we're just going to go through what's new in 7.6.1, a bit of a demo. Why upgrade the latest version, how to upgrade. So within 7.6.1 there's continued delivery against the EAM. So IBM are continue to invest in Maximo and trying to break out into some new web design or some new screen design, and trying to break away from the classic Maximo as they're calling it now. So 7.6.1 is accumulation of all the 7.6.0 fixed packs, feature packs. So that includes the new work centers which were introduced in 7.6.05, I think. Again, with the introduction of those is the work center modernization. Cognos 11 entitlement you also get with 7.6.1, and there's some supporting updates, which is Java 8, which I'll come on to later. And as you can see, was Liberty, was 9. So the feature patch 7.6.0 from 05, I think these were introduced. I'm not sure which version they came in, but within those which are rolled up into 7.6.1, you've got BIM. BIM's part of the standard package now. You have asset depreciation, so you can create depreciation schedules against assets. Budget monitoring. Again, you can use the application, the budget monitor application, to put some budget numbers in there and report on those. And there's also a standard license tracking application, which you can report on your licensing suite. Some of the main changes were really in the 7.6.0s, and the 7.6.1 are now around this new user experience. So within 7.6.1 now you have these 5 work centers. There's actually 6 really, or maybe even 7, I think, with the MMI one. The inspections is 2, but it's grouped into 1 really for inspections. But you do have inspector and inspect supervisor. But there's the work technician one. So essentially that one is where you have a list of work to do on a daily basis. I think in there's tomorrow, next few days as well. Work supervisor, that's where you plan the work, so you can give your team work. Business analyst, that's got the KPIs in there. Service requester, that's the work center just to enable you to quickly submit a service request without having a license. Essentially taking the functionality from SSR, so create service request and put it into a nice user experience there. Brand new inspections which came in 7.6.09 has been enhanced to 7.6.1 to include a lot more functionality within it. They also, the work centers that use HTML5 and web component technology. There's totally different development for the work centers. Totally away from the classic, as you will possibly know it if you know Maximo, if you use Maximo, taking away from that classic development cycle or development tools within there. So the work center for supervisor in 7.6.1, the improvements in here, there's a lot of usability improvements, expanding panels, toggling between lists and cards. Follow-up work, job plans, add job plans, update your work plans. Labour reporting gives you the ability to report your team's labour. View assets and also view service requests in there for your team. So the usability switch in here now enables you to switch from the card view. If you've seen work centers before, you get this list function at the top. If you click it, it gives you a list. Obviously, as you look at that list, that screenshot from the list there, you can see it looks very similar to the work order list from Classic Maximo. Not as many columns in there, but it is just a sort of list view. And again, it does resemble a list screen in work order tracking. You also now have the ability to create follow-up work and also add related records. And as you can see in the bottom green section there, you also there get the list of related records. Adding job plans. If the work order doesn't have a job plan on there, if it's not being associated with a job plan initially, then you can add a job plan. Add time. So you can manage your team's time in your reported work section, add time for some of your team, or approve the time that's on that work order. So if you view a work order where one of your team has added some time in there, you have the ability, if it's not approved, to approve that work. Work execution, 7.6.1 improvements. Within this now there's failures, so you can report failures, report rotating assets, downtime, follow-up work. There's some enhancements within there. Report more than one craft and complete your assignments in the labour reporting, which is quite good. View asset details and also add meter readings. So if there's a meter associated with that work order for that particular asset, then you have the ability there to report your meter readings against that work order and associated asset. So this is just a quick screenshot of the failure reporting section, or the tab within there. As you can see on the left hand side, you have the PCR, so your problem cause remedy, and you have the ability to obviously populate those if you have them in Maximo. Obviously, if you don't have them in Maximo, then they won't show in there and you won't be able to select them. So it's data driven, but it's data actually driven from Maximo itself and what you have set up against your failure reporting or your failure codes, failure lists within Maximo. In the green box there, you can see this work order had a meter associated with it. So within this, you can change the hours and the time, enter some remarks, and then save it. It gives you the ability to obviously save your meter readings against that asset. So if the work order did have a meter against it, that will be shown there. Reporting time. So again, you can report different elements on your time. You can add time, different crafts at different types, sort of really mimicking the reporting labour on a work order. So where in the work order on the actuals and the labour in actuals, it will mimic that and obviously populate that if you add that onto the work order within work execution work center. Improvements for service requests. So one of the bigger ones is enablement of subcategories. So I'll show you this in Maximo a bit later, but it enables you to use a class structure that is hierarchical and sort of click through that as you are reporting the first element of work, the problem. There's enriched where the issue is. So there's type ahead within there, new lookup searches, find near locations using GPS coordinates, barcode scanning. So if your locations or your assets do have barcodes, so if the barcode in an online mode, you could scan that barcode and it would pull up the asset. Again, as I spoke about in the work supervisor, you do get a view list of SRs within the supervisor. And then the style, essentially the style's been fully merged or fully aligned with all the other work centers. So this is what I was talking about with the drill down through your subcategories. So if you've seen this before, when you select or go into the service request application, the service request work center, to submit a new service request, first of all, it will display what you have set up in your service request classifications. But if you have sub-classifications, once you click on the first one, it then pops you to the second one. So as you can see on the right hand side, somebody's selected in here heating and air, and then once they've clicked on that, then it gives you the subcategories that's in there. The pictures that you see are just stock pictures, so you would need to add pictures in there, or you don't even need to add them. You'll see those. You'll see some in Maximo when I show you with no pictures in there. So it's the standard out of the box stuff, but it's just not been any pictures have been added and associated with those classifications. Once you get to the last category, then you get the last box on the right hand side, which essentially is what the issue is. Again, this is all data setup, so this comes from the classification and the ticket templates. The other enhancements here are the dynamically add of the details. So if they're set up within the classification or the ticket template, should I say, then once it's selected, then you get some additional functionality to add extra data. And again, if you look at the bottom note there, it does increase the speed, or trying to increase the speed between resolution, speed of resolution, should I say. So again, the more information that's on the ticket, the less time is required for the person doing the ticket or responding to that ticket, whether that's the help desk needing more information or the person who's going to actually go and look at that ticket or that issue. Obviously, the more information that's in there, the better, which is obviously increase the speed to resolution. So this is what I was talking about, the type ahead. So when you get to the section in the service request where you need to select a location of where it's at, if you have a complex location hierarchy, then sometimes it's quite difficult to find the location. But if you type in section, a part of the location where it's found, where the issue is, then the list will reduce and bring you only back records that have those, as you can see on the right hand side. Somebody's typed in here OFF, so it will just show you a list of locations that have OFF in there. So it just makes it easier to find and search for locations where the issue is. The inspections work center. So the inspections work center is twofold. I sort of look at it myself as similar to job plans in a way, and IBM might not like that, but essentially it's a list of work that needs to be done that can be used multiple times. So where, if you think about a job plan can be used whether that's on a PM, so to be used at a set frequency on a set location. And also a job plan can be just used against a work order, so you can associate that job plan to work order. This is very similar. So you have an inspection form builder with all your questions in there, and that once that inspection has been built, i.e. the tasks have been pushed in there and it's fully formed and is active, then that can be used against a work order, an asset, or location to perform that inspection. So within the inspection form library, again, this is where they are created, updated, changed. You have the ability to revise them, so they are revision controlled, active or inactive. You can duplicate, and within the actual questions, there are multiple response fields that you can use for each question. Questions can be grouped as well, which is a nice functionality. So you could have essentially a section of questions, which could be for say for instance, this is an inspection of a vehicle. So you could have the bodywork section, and within that the questions around the bodywork, the tires section, and within that section or group as they call it, just questions around the tires and the wheels, and so on and so forth. You can see you can build it up, so you've not just got one long list of questions within the inspection. You can actually group them, which is nice functionality. So once you have an inspection in the form, in the inspection form section that is approved and usable, then obviously within that you can then conduct an inspection, and that's a separate app as well. So they are two separate applications, but it is what we're calling inspections now. But from any one of those inspections that are available, you can conduct an inspection, and those inspections can be against work orders and assets or locations. So whereas a job plan would have to be on a work order, you have now the ability to just create an inspection against an asset, an ad hoc inspection. So that's work centers. Again, I'm going to show you them in a second anyway, Maximo, just a quick overview of what they look like. than just photos on a PowerPoint. Maximo 7.6.1. So 7.6.1, what you will see here is just now the start center. As you can see, we have a new skin which is called IOT18 Skin, and it aligns in colors to the work centers. So it's a seamless transition, trying to get a seamless transition into a work center back out into Classic. And as you can see here, there's quite a bit of change, especially on the next, not on this one, but on the next tab I'll show you. There's done some updated colors on the KPIs. It's not that interesting, but you can see here they've sort of deepened the colors to try and align with the work centers. The UI now is very responsive to changes in size. It's hard to see on here, and I'll show you in Maximo, but these three photos here are actually the same size window of my laptop, but with the Chrome application reduced in size or increased in size if you go from the back to the front. And it's difficult to see, but what it does is it's actually responsive, and it will resize the font as you resize it. Whereas previously in 7.6 before 7.6 and 7.6.0s or 7.5 if you're on 7.5, it doesn't do that. It just cuts the page. All the colors now, not all the colors because it's blue, but most of the colors now have been removed across the taskbar and across the navigation bar on the left hand side, again to align with the work centers. There's some new iconography, as you can see here, the clear screen. If you know Maximo, the clear screen at the side of saves now sort of an arrow, return arrow. And as you can see down the left hand side, all the icons have now made blue, a single color, and some of them have changed. They've had to change because obviously to just change some of those to blue just wouldn't have looked any good. We have a green bar that drops down from the top of the page now. So if you do a save action, previously you got the same message, which potentially would say your record has been saved, but it wasn't very prominent. It was difficult to see. So this actually now drops down from the record at the top, and because we've just got the blues, the red star icon for mandatory fields, you can see it a bit more prominent now. As you're looking at that screen, you can quickly see that's obviously it's got a green square around it, but you can see that there's a red star just there, which makes that a mandatory field on this presentation. If you do an error, or if you input incorrect data, the black line that's underneath each of the fields will turn red. Again, because you're on a blue background, or sorry, a white background with blue information, or black just there, it's quite easily to see as you're looking at a screen if you've entered incorrect data and you're trying to save it with incorrect data. It's highlighted quite well. So with 7.6.1, you now get Cognos 11. So Cognos 11 entitlement with 7.6.1 is available. So previously it was 10.9, I think it was, with 7.6.0s. Obviously with Cognos 11, there's a bit more enhancements within it. I'm not going into detail of those, but if you review the information for Cognos 11, you'll see that it's been enhanced, and there's some excellent stuff within there. The technical enhancements around 7.6.1, auto scripting, we now have Jython 2.7, an ability to close Maximo dialog from a script. There's quite a few enhancements within auto scripting. REST APIs have been updated, and a lot of documentation is available now across the REST API suite. They've been updated. Usability, mentioned that before. There's some information, a lot of information's on the web now around all these technical enhancements with 7.6.1. And there's a new MMI, Maximo Management Interface. That's actually a work center, and that comes with 7.6.1 only. But it gives you some information once you get into it and look at it around your system health. And it's auto-populates with the information around MBO memory, queue information, and some quite good information around what Maximo's doing. Another big change with 7.6.1 is now it's moved to Java 8. So some people may or may have had problems with Java in the past. End of support for 7 is coming. So what they've done is move on to Java 8. Solutions and add-ons, if you do have any of those 7 in Java 7, they're compatible with 7.6.1. So there's no need to worry about those. They are compatible. But if you are looking at installing 7.6.1, then it does need a new folder structure. So if you know stuff about, if you're interested in the actual deployment of Maximo, then it's a brand new folder structure. I'm not going into too much detail because it's around the deployment of that, but it is quite a big change. It's not difficult change, but it is a big change with the folder structures. People know folder structures, but it can be compiled in Java 7. But the recommendation is Java 8 because of end of support for Java 7. Bit around the upgrade path. With this, it's obviously a little different to just a standard upgrade, but the actual upgrade process, it sort of flows. It flows pretty well. So 7.6.5.0 to 7.6.0 upgrade. Add-ons need to be at the level that they are. Database backups, prerequisites. It's the standard process, but the path is a little different. And also, if you do have extended classes within your previous product, if you do have Maximo, you have extended classes, then they'll need to be in the new folder structure. All the products need to be in the new folder structure. So just before I go into that, I'm just going to close this for now, and I'm going to just quickly go into Maximo and quickly show you, have a run through of those work centers and just show you what they look like. So the first one I'm going to show you is the supervisor one. This is the work order or the work supervision work center. So this is showing me all the people who I supervise their work essentially. And as you can see here, on the left hand side, you have work that needs to be approved, work that's approved that's not got an owner, and then what they call the section for monitoring work, where it's at. You can see there's different statuses and stuff like that. You can tap into these. So if you click on one of these, it gives you more detail, essentially like clicking into a work order from the list screen. And I'm not going to go into every single field on here, but some of this is pulling in the fields that have been set that are coming from Maximo. So this essentially is your main work order screen. Some scheduling information on here, related records, work types. You see the plans in here, what labor. There's nothing on this one, unfortunately, but there might be on some of the others, maybe not. So you can see the tasks in there, what labor's on there, any assignments that are there. You can see the assignments here. Comments. The comments are the work logs. So if you want to add a work log, or if one of the executioners or one of your work, so one of your team, excuse me, has added a work log, you can see it in here, and any attachments. And then you have the essentially this is the actuals. So this is where you report your time, materials, and any failures within there, as you saw previously. So as you can see, it's very responsive. As I'm clicking through here, it's quite responsive, or very responsive, should I say. Coming back to the list screen or the main card screen, you can see it's pretty damn fast. I'll just log in to the next one. So that was a quick view on the supervisor one. I'll just log into the executioner one. So I've set some work for this person called Sam. So Sam has these work orders associated as the owner. So I've got one which is overdue, and these are the lists of work orders across the top. So I've got 2 work orders due for today. Schedule start for today. That one's not approved, so I can't start. As you can see, I've got no buttons here. I've got a button here to start this one, but this one's not approved. But you can see again, it's got different colors in here to highlight what I can and can't do. Some work for tomorrow. I've got 1 work order for tomorrow, and then I've got a few work orders for the next 3 to 5 days. I've got a completed view here, so I can see what I've done, what work's been done, and then I can just see everything here as well. So if I look at one of these that It's a similar sort of view that you get from the supervisor, a little bit less because you don't need that much or as much as the supervisor, I would say. But again, as you can see here, all these panels here, you can view information within them. You can update some of the information with them depending on what you've got in here. There's probably no plans. There are some plans from here. Again, you can look at the tasks and the materials that are available on this work order, or what is required for this work order. Comments, as I said before, that's the work log, and any attachments. You can add attachments. You can see the attachments that are there that have been associated with the work order. I'll sign out now and go to the service request one. So this is the service request that I've created. So as you can see here, I've created a few the other day just so you can see them in this list view. If I want to add a new one, I can click on the new panel on the left hand side. And this is what I was talking about previously with classifications or templates which don't have or classifications that don't have a picture in them. They don't need a picture. These are stock pictures just to give a quick idea of what needs to be done. One of the things again I talked about is the sub-levels or the hierarchical view of classifications, where this comes from. So if I want to request for information, if I tap on that, then I get a second level here. Yeah. So I can click how to. Let's go back again. I think end user issues has some. So I've got an end user issue. It's a hardware issue, and it's a printer. Toner issue. So you can see there I went down 3 levels. These are from the ticket templates. Unfortunately, there's none been set up in here. So click next. Do I want to add a video or a photo? Not really. Not for this one anyway. No. And where is it? So this is in Office. So as you can see here, as I'm typing in Office, this list reduces to only Office. This is Max Demo, so there's quite a lot of office space in here. So it's in the computer lab. I'm going to set it as that location. Unfortunately, the only assets in there, but I don't need to associate it with an asset. Click next. Is it high priority or not? No, it's not. And it's gone. So that's now in the system. So as you can see, it's very, very quick to create a service request on this application. Sign out now and show the Inspector Supervisor one. So this is the Inspector Supervisor, or what we call in the manage the inspection forms. Again, my thoughts around this really are it's a similar sort of application like the job plans, but a lot more enriched, where you don't have those sub levels within the job plan. The job plan essentially is a list of tasks. So as you can see here, I've got 4 inspection forms, but if you can see them, they look like they're stacked. It's quite difficult to see. You can see it by a bit of a turn down page here, just in this corner here. Essentially, that means that there's different revisions in there. So if I click on the this one here, it punches me through to the revision history of that. So it's very, very quick and easy to see the revision history of that record. If I want to view it or preview it, I can duplicate it. So I'm going to just preview this one. Again, when I was talking about the sections or the groups, this is what I was talking about on the left hand side. As you can see, I've got an arrow here. So as I spin that down, this is the structural component section or group of checks I need to do. Connections and other. So you can group a lot easily. I'm just going to come back out of there now. I'll do it from here. So this is the portable ladder inspection, showing you with the groups in here and showing you the questions in here. One of the nice things about this is you can construct it. And if you actually want to move some of these questions with a section, you can actually just grab them. So if I grab that and dropped it into here, as you can see, it's 203, if you can see the number. When I move it up here, it actually just renumbers it. So I get a 108, it drops and renumbers all these, which is a really nice option, a really nice sort of bit of functionality, as I say. So you can construct it and start moving stuff around if you've constructed it incorrectly, or you want to move some of the questions from one section group into another section group. It's quite good in that functionality, so I can move all those up here if I wanted to, and it just renumbers them, resaves it. Sorry, it doesn't resave, brings back the data, and I could actually save that now, and that form was updated. Obviously, as you can see here, that's pending revision, so it's not going to be used, but I can now toggle that. That one's active, that one's revised, and it's saved instantly back to Maximo, and you can see it back on here. Previously, that one revision 2 was at pending revision, it's now active. Just sign out and just conduct one. I'll just show you quickly one that action conducted. This is. So I'm now logging in as Alvin, as you saw here. Again, you get different selection criteria, any that are pending, any in progress, any completed. So if you click on in progress, there's quite a lot here. You can see that when it refreshes, all these inspections are actually in progress. This is obviously demo, so we've been doing some testing and some reviewing of some of the work in here. But if I punch into one of these, you'll see the questions displayed for an inspector. So as you can see, I've got the same information on the left hand side where we're talking about the groups. Within the groups here, you can see the questions. So as I answer some of these questions, you can see on the left hand side you've got this this tick box. I'll just spin that down a little bit so you can see it better. As I'm tabbing through these and answering the questions, it's dynamically updating whether that question has been answered or not. So as you can see now, all those questions have been answered, so my section's complete. You can see at the top here that that's complete. It's quite a good way, so you can actually then toggle between what tasks have been completed, what tasks are incomplete, and then all your tasks. So you can just have it on that view there, and you can just answer the questions that have not been answered. You can see here as well, on then you have a different question answer, or just answers for the question. So this is a numeric one in here. And there's lots of different types of questions or answers you can get from the question. Attachments, numbers, ALN, yes, nos. It's very dynamic now. Whereas thinking back to, as I keep saying, back to job plans, it's very rigid. You ask a question, it's either done or not done. So that's it from me, Liv, and from everybody who's listening. That was a quick view of, again, the work centres. Keep saying start centres, excuse me. A very quick view of the work centres. I think Liv's now just going to finish off the session.
Yeah, thank you, Lee. That's giving us an insight. There's a lot of new features within 7.6.1, better interface, new features for functionality. Peacock Engineering, we're actually going to be offering a Maximo review day, which is a free service, and we're going to be running this between now and Christmas. What's included within this review day, we'll do a review of your current system, we'll look at the required steps for the upgrade process, and we'll look at any details and changes of your system which may require a bit of extra effort for the upgrade. Again, this is a completely free service, and we can schedule it for a time that suits you best. So if you'd like to get more information on that, if you are interested, please contact me at olivia.taylor@paluk.org, and I can provide you with some further details. We do also have 2 handouts on the webinar that you can download, which one is a upgrade brochure and one is a Maximo 7.6.1 sheet. We will send these to you as well, along with the recording of the webinar. But I hope you enjoyed our webinar today, and I hope it was informative. and we look forward to the next one with you. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.